Hi, I'm Lisa Lockwood. Welcome to West Coast Weekly. We have an exciting show for you today. First up is Candice Bar, entrepreneur, speaker, and host of Luxe Life that can be heard on iHeartRadio. Our next guest is Clyde Terry, who's the founder of the Emerging Leaders Academy, where his specialty is transforming the lives of people returning home from prison and gang members who are looking to break the cycle.
She was a Desert Storm soldier, beauty pageant contestant, undercover narcotics detective, and SWAT officer. She's a motivational speaker and author, and to no one's surprise, the reinvention expert. She's Lisa Lockwood, and this is West Coast Weekly.
Hi, Candice.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Miss Luxe Life, representing in every capacity.
We needed some print today, so between you and me, we're good.
Beautiful red bottoms.
Thank you.
Beautiful outfit.
Thank you.
Definitely represent your brand.
Thank you.
I have to know the start of entrepreneurship for you, because some people do it later in life, some people start at the beginning, they get exposure to it, and it's just their way of life. Tell me about your beginning.
I was blessed. I come from a family of entrepreneurs or small business owners. So my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my parents all owned their own businesses at some point in life.
Right.
And so I was kind of just exposed to that from the get-go. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew whatever I did, I had to own it. So
Yes.
I was exposed to that. And I think at the time when I was growing up, the word entrepreneur didn't really exist when I was growing up.
Yes.
It just that word came about like maybe 15 years ago,
Okay.
15, 20 years ago. And so I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life. And so I will do that the rest of my life, I'm sure, just because once you work for yourself, you can't work for someone else.
The freedom. Don't take away my freedom.
I can't. And I really can't be told what to do. So that's another reason why I'm an entrepreneur.
Lady boss. Lady
Yeah,
boss.
yeah.
Did you work in the family businesses initially?
I did. Actually, my dad owned, one of his businesses was a music store. So when I was really young, I would say 10, I would help him with the cash register and always be at the store with him. And my dad owned several different things. So I was always kind of with him and just managing money and learning how to do all that stuff.
And that's a big foundation for running a business, because people tend to put that on the back burner.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about accounting
Yeah.
and accounts receivables
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. I mean, I didn't learn that until later in life.
No, I remember sitting in the room. I was involved with everything really early. I was sitting in the room when the accountant was there and then talking about finances and inventory and all that. I was there for all that. So I didn't know, obviously, at the time that would be useful to me. But thank
Yes.
goodness I was there, because it's been very useful.
Can you remember the first entrepreneurial experience that you had for yourself, your kind of launch into that world?
Yeah, my parents had belonged to, at the time it was an MLM company.
Okay.
And I actually think they're still around. And there was a kids version side to that company. And so my dad had signed me up to do like the kids version side of the company when I was like, I think 9.
Okay.
And I actually did really well. I went to school and I was always selling things, or like ways, my mind was always running in this way.
Wow.
So yeah, I was always encouraged, for sure.
You were out there selling.
Yeah, always. Thinking ways to make, we had, of course we had the lemonade stands, and then we had a kind of truck in the front yard that me and my sister would pack full of like school supplies, and on Sundays we would be selling stuff, and like my grandparents were watching, making sure no one weird or creepy would come around, but otherwise like we were doing our own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's in you.
Yeah, it's
Born,
inside
bred
of me.
to be the entrepreneur.
1000%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward into the later years. What would you attribute your biggest entrepreneurial success to? What type of business? Oh, probably what you're doing now.
What I'm doing now, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that the thing that helped make me successful was, I really do have a love for people. I love people. I love their stories. I really like listening to what people have to say,
Sure.
where they came from, what made them them, what makes them tick.
Right.
So having that, and I've always kind of been like that anyway, so having that in me already has helped me so much with my business and my career.
So now I see where the foundation came from for you to do this and to actually start the business with helping entrepreneurs. That concept started when?
That concept started really young. So when I came to California, I think I was like 18 or 19. So that started 20.
Okay.
And that started out of a need because I was going to networking groups and seeing it just wasn't up to par.
Yes.
Not having any experience in networking groups, but seeing that I could do better. And so that's really where it all kind of exploded and all it came from. But just kind of raising the bar, choosing quality over quantity, and that's always been kind of the foundation of any of my businesses. Being very selective, because especially in Los Angeles, who you know is everything.
Sure.
And so the positioning of that can really skyrocket you, or it can be a detriment to your business. So,
what's the best advice you have somebody who does go to a networking event? The best use of their time when they arrive. Walk me through that. When you get there,
a really good
what do
question.
you do, Candice Bar?
That's a good question. So you need to make sure what you're walking into. You should make sure that the ticket price is high. It should never be free. If it's free, it's not for me, is our motto.
Okay.
The higher the ticket, the better caliber the people in the group. So that essentially that's more money for you, because people are networking for business typically. So if you're going for business, make it worth your time and energy.
I love that. So when you do get to that event, and I know a lot of them have speakers, or some of them are mixers and that sort of thing. Do you have a way that you approach somebody that's unique to you?
Yes, what I do is I'm an observer. I rather observe than speak. So I will go in the room, I'll observe the room, see what we're dealing with here, and just, for people who are new to networking, I just say do the smile test. So if you smile at someone and they don't smile back, you don't go talk to them. If you smile at them and smile back, you go talk to them.
Yes.
And
like
that is so terrifying for a lot of people. Just going to say hi to someone is really terrifying for a lot of people.
Sure.
It's actually, you got to know, most people in the room are nervous.
Yeah,
so
that's a good
just
point.
knowing, it doesn't matter what caliber, what level people are nervous around people that they don't know.
Right.
So
and if you're arriving alone, which I'm
Exactly.
sure you do.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. You just have to kind of get over it.
Okay.
Like, you have to be the bigger person, and they're not going to bite your head off. It's going to be okay. It's all going to be all right.
Right.
Yeah.
You always have Luxe Life, your awesome show that you have on iHeartRadio.
Thank you.
You have phenomenal guests that come in and share their stories and share their expertise and their entrepreneurship and everything, in order to give the audience tools to advance in their entrepreneurial skills.
Right.
Right? So tell me about how that is going for you.
Luxe Life has been really fun, actually. How that came about is a whole different, we could take a whole different show for that. But we've had really awesome guests on the show. Like, we had Jay Shetty on the show. We've had Les Brown on the show. We have Erica Marina-Ware, Dr. Drew, Farrah Abrams, and everyone has brought so much value and insight, because sharing their journey and story that most people don't even know. I actually don't know the stories until they come on the show. And so you can always take some sort of value from someone, even if it's a sentence from the whole hour show.
Sure.
You can take that and run with it. And the show is just about saying, we're all entrepreneurs. We all messed up a lot here and there. We all had successes here and there. And this
Right.
is my life, and this is what you can take from it.
And now you have a business where you completely coach entrepreneurs and you link them to higher net worth people in order to advance to do that. How do people get in touch with you to be part of that program?
They can call the office,
Sure.
Or they can email the office, and then social media is always great. So we have Instagram, we have Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want them to reach out to you through a social media vehicle? Is that the best?
Social media is great, and then just calling the office is fine. Like, I'm a phone call person. So
Okay, good.
yeah, they'll probably get me or my assistant. 818-310-8802.
Okay, so if you're an entrepreneur out there who wants to get top shelf advice from a woman who has been doing this since she was a child, it's in her genes, it's in her blood. If you want to learn how to network with high net worth clients, if you want to be a guest on Luxe Life, contact Candice Bar. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Up next, Clyde Terry. Be right back.
Hi, my name is Tom Julian, the author of The Shepherd. There's hundreds of thousands of people who have felt like the title character of The Shepherd, Tony Castanelli. Alone, no family to count on, friends are becoming few and far between. But God has a way of looking down on those lonely hearts and somehow in His own beautiful way bring people into our lives who can help us find the direction and purpose that we all need and the happiness we all desire. This is that story. It's a simple read, but it's an inspiring moment. Buy yours today.
Patients ask me every single day about water. But water from your tap? Let's get real. Please, please take care of yourself, save yourself by getting Echo. This machine will put in the activated hydrogen molecule that stimulates the anaerobic organisms that we now know has everything to do with your life. Do yourself a favor, get good clean water powered with Echo.
Being healthy and happy isn't always easy. Stress at home, at work, trouble sleeping, toxins in the environment. Even healthy foods can be lacking vital micronutrients due to chemicals and depleted soil. American Nutraceuticals' proven solutions can help detoxify, reduce stress, and guide the way to optimum health. Balance, restore, rejuvenate naturally with American Nutraceuticals. Available from leading healthcare professionals and at 888vitality.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lee Aaron Keneally, and I have some exciting news to tell you. I have launched my book, The Cancer Revolution. Do you know that cancer takes 10 years to develop in your body? That means you have 10 years of opportunity to prevent and reverse early cancer. The Cancer Revolution. It will empower you to change your life and turn this disease around.
Welcome back to West Coast Weekly. Clyde Terry is here, the founder of Emerging Leaders Academy, where his specialty is transforming the lives of people returning from prison, gang members, homeless people who are trying to break the cycle of despair and violence. So happy to have you here. This is what people need to know about your background, how you got into a place, because I know you have a giving heart, no question about that. But can you tell me a little bit about your professional life leading up to doing what you're doing now?
Well, yeah, 10 years in the Marines, and then from the Marines to law enforcement, and how I ended up there was kind of unique. I got into an argument with Honolulu police.
Okay.
And there was a homeless black guy in Hawaii, right? How ironic. I mean, like Hawaii,
Sure.
And
sure.
And one of the other police officers pulled up, and I guess realized his partner was having a bad day or whatever, and told me just leave, just to go on my way. And I was at the Marines at that time, and you never have any conflict with the police.
Sure.
And especially being a staff NCO. And I had rank, should I say, in the Marines.
Okay.
And so fighting with the police or arguing with the police, but he questioned my integrity, and which is an issue for me.
Sure.
And he was really in the wrong, and so his partner sent me on my way. But there's a homeless black guy that got off the wall. I'll never forget this. He got off the wall, and he said, if you can do something about it and you don't, you're part of the problem.
Ah.
And I had a few choice words for him in my head.
Sure.
That I didn't say, but then when I look back, he wasn't there anymore.
Interesting.
Right? And
yeah.
that was on a Friday night for a Saturday. That Monday, a buddy of mine walked in, dropped the Navy Times on my desk. I opened it up, and LA County Sheriff's was hiring. I'd never thought about being on law enforcement in my life.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and so if you said list 1,000 things you would do in your life, it wouldn't have been it. If you said list one more, it wouldn't have been it. And I came to LA, and
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
We have such a common link because that was my life. Obviously,
Wow.
becoming a police officer, that was not the path that I
Right.
had intended
Right.
after military.
Right,
So
right.
we have a very similar,
Right.
venture into how we did what we did.
Right,
So go
right.
ahead and continue. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's just amazing how spirit just kind of guides you somewhere. And then so I called to apply, and I had a credit card that had like $400 on it, and my ticket was like $478.
Oh no.
And so they let me combine 2 credit cards.
Yes.
And that was it. Like
To pay from the ticket
to
from
pay for the
Hawaii
ticket
to LA,
right?
to take the
But
test.
then I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have
So now you're
a rental
homeless.
card. Yeah, rental card, because to come to LA to test, right?
Sure.
And that weekend, that was a Monday. On Tuesday, I think I called back to buy my ticket,
Right.
and schedule myself. And then on Friday, my buddy and I went out to Waikiki and met these girls who were from LA, and one happened to be a deputy sheriff.
Oh wow.
And so she says, "Oh, you can stay with me, right, when you come to LA." And then the Discover card sent me back a thing saying, "Hey, you have a bonus, or like
points.
or something like that, you can get a rental car. Right? So it just all worked out.
It always divine intervention
Yes.
to make sure that you went on this path.
And so then I come to the sheriff's department, and I started training with gangs, and they kind of put me in a place kind of like where you would fail, but I succeeded there with gangs and working in high power, and then after that, I mean, if you train there, it's kind of hard to go back and, like, if you play with Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, it's kind of hard to go back and play in high school.
Sure. Okay.
So it was hard for me to go back to general population because I'd worked with the most violent of the violent, or the.
How long did you do that for?
For about 6 years.
My goodness.
And then
that was complete immersion.
Yeah, and then I became a gang investigator, and I began to learn a lot about the streets and just a lot about the system. But I would always tell people, like, instead of taking a deal, like, look at your case.
Sure.
Right? Don't just take a deal because if they offer you 25 to life,
yes,
and then they come back and offer you 5 years, there must not be something strong with that case.
Got it.
Right?
Yes.
So
and unfortunately, people just don't know.
People don't know,
that.
and so they become afraid. And so you have a lot of people in the system that probably shouldn't be in the system, but they're afraid of life without possibly a parole for a crime they didn't even commit.
So scary.
Right?
Yes.
And so, and then when you're in jail and there's all this violence going on around you, you want to get away from that as fast as possible. So you're willing to take anything.
Right.
And so, so from there, I just, I went to the streets. I worked Compton and Watts most of my career, Compton most of it, and I worked undercover. And then I'd gone to Iraq as a police advisor.
Tell me about that.
After 9/11.
Yes.
So the opportunity came up for me to be to work for the State Department as a police advisor for this particular company.
Did they choose you, or did you apply for that?
I applied for it.
That's great.
And a friend of mine sent me things, said, I think you'd be great for this, and then I applied, and they accepted me, and I went with one of the first groups.
Okay.
Into Iraq, and we trained the first Iraqi police officers.
I see.
And then we had, I don't know if you remember the issue with Blackwater when we were in Fallujah. They ended up catching the guys and hanging them over the side of the bridge.
Right.
Well, I was there then, and my boss came to me and said, I need you to put together a team. Because if not, we're gonna have a lot of people getting killed out here. So I was like, well, wait, why are you asking? Why are you asking me? I don't know what we're doing here.
Sure.
And he says, because you do have a little more knowledge than the average, because a lot of these guys are like from the South. And,
I see.
Right. So
Sure.
you do have a lot more.
You did. You worked in Compton
experience.
and
Right.
Watts, for sure.
Right. And so he says, you have a lot more urban experience than these guys do,
Right.
especially big cities. And so I want you to bring that skill set. So I ended up running the most effective team in the country. We ran over 1,000 missions and never lost any.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
doing that. Incredible.
So
So you came back.
That brought me back
Yeah.
to LA, and then I came back to Compton, and a young kid was killed, and they shot the father. His homeboy shot his father. And I guess they assumed the person that was in the car was another gang member.
Yes.
But it was this 7-year-old son looking through the window,
Oh,
and they shot the kid, and he fell through the window. And I'd seen a lot of death in Compton and places I'd worked, but it was something about this kid, and coming from Iraq, there's people getting killed every day. And but something about this kid's spirit that just touched me. I was the first time in my life I'd ever felt helpless.
Wow.
Like, do I even make a difference? Like, why are we doing this? Because in 1991, I came on the department, we had 19,000 people in custody.
Right.
And here we are in 2007,
Right.
and we have 19,000 people in custody. Whatever we're doing isn't working. And so I said, God, whatever whatever someone believes in, but to me it was, God, if there's a better way, if there's something I need to do, then please show me,
Sure.
please tell me. And I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I really felt helpless at that point. And when the kid died, for days, I mean, like I don't know, I even think I was maybe somewhat depressed.
Right.
Because
of course I understand
I felt
that.
helpless, right? And
People don't realize the burden
Yeah.
on police and what we had witnessed over
Right.
the years and how we carry that home with us. There's no shut-off switch for that.
Right.
And you decided that you're going to do something
Right.
about it.
We say, well,
Yeah.
it's the next call. You might start your shift off, so your Monday might be a Wednesday. Right? You start your week off in a Wednesday.
Sure.
So when you come on, the first call out the gate might be a murder. And it might be the murder of a child.
Right.
And then you hold the scene until homicide gets there. And then you then you get other units there from other stations that'll come and hold the crime scene, and then you go back out to your area and handle calls, and you get there to a burglary call, and somebody goes, "Why is it taking you so long to get here?" And like really indignant about it. And you go, "Well, there was a murder," and they go, "Well, he's dead. Why do I have to wait?" I mean, like, you know, and
Sure.
and then that's, or you might even see another shooting within that 8-hour, 10-hour period. Then you don't get to say, "Well, I'm going to take the next few days off to process." You go home, you do whatever you have to do, and you go home, and then you come back again on your Tuesday.
Yes.
And then you work like that, and then you get a couple of days off to decompress, but you can't really go home and
You're not the same.
yeah,
You're
you
not the
can't
same.
share it with everybody because everybody
Yes.
wants to fix it, and you can't fix it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, or they want to make the people in that area wrong. Like, oh, those people are like, no, they're not. These are good people that live in, you know, sometimes a bad situation.
Sure.
And so, either there's judgment about the community, or there's judgment about the people that did it, or they want to fix it so that they don't have to feel some kind of way. And it's like, you know, sometimes you just need a place to purge.
Yes.
You know, I don't want you to fix it. I just need to get it out of me so that I'm not stuck with it. You know?
And then you finished a stellar career and retired from law enforcement, and then emerging leaders, the idea of that.
Well, actually, I created Emerging Leaders right after that.
Yes.
I did some leadership training, and somebody said, if it's your problem, then God gave it to you.
Yes.
Right? If you have that much energy behind it, and God gave it to you, it's yours. It's not somebody else. It's not for somebody else to fix. It's yours.
How can people help contribute, either contributing physically, where they come and help and do some coaching, or financially to help emerging leaders have a more broader appeal? What's their best way to contact you?
They can go to our site. It's at emergingleaders360.org.
Okay.
They can go there. They can contact us at Emerging Leaders 2014
Yes.
at Gmail.
Okay.
That's the way they can contact us. And then, my number is 424-248-7904, and they can call me there.
Gave your number. How amazing are you, Clyde? Thank you for sharing with us today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for doing what you're doing. Your mission is so incredibly beautiful. And that's it today for West Coast Weekly. Again, I'm Lisa Lockwood, and we will see you next week.